Yo, welcome to Citrus Lane. I'm your host, Jess. Come watch some creepy videos with me, won't you?
Do you know if you take this mountain peak in the Garden of the Gods, Colorado, and turn it sideways, and you see a man's face there and think it's pareidolia? Well, then they have you stuck exactly where they want you. Not knowing truth and not being open-minded enough to know where you truly live. When I first started seeing the faces in the rocks about 2 years ago, I thought it all had to be CGI, computer generated, or AI. And then my brother-in-law, my very own brother-in-law, sent me this picture. And it took my guard down enough to make me realize that this was real, this was going on. And then when you start to realize that the place where you live is a whole lot different than what you ever could imagine, and you see that these faces in the rocks are literally everywhere, and some of them are so real and so distinct and so perfectly facial features that even if you are dead asleep, you have to ask yourself, what in the world is going on here? And back to the beginning where I said if you think these rock formations are just pareidolia, looking like something but not really something, well then, like I said, they have you exactly where they want you. And where they want you is accepting the reality that they have fed you, the reality through the television, the reality through the public indoctrination, education system. They want you seeing and not believing because it doesn't match what they told you. And they want you to especially not believe the Bible. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God, angels, came into the daughters of men. They created the giants, the Nephilim. And we saw that the giants, the son of Anak, which came of the giants, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers. You see, you might be awake, but are you awake enough to know that all the lies are spiritual, and they are trying to hide the fact that the Bible and God and JC are real? It's why they hide giants. It's why they hide dragons. This is a cave in Egypt. Again, is that just pareidolia to you, or something else that's mentioned in the Bible dozens of times? It's why they hide the firmament, and God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons. Right in the first page of the Bible. Right there. So go ahead, continue to think that this is just pareidolia, and that you're an evolved ape spinning 1,000 miles per hour every day, and 66,000 miles per hour around the sun every year, and chasing everything through the universe at astounding 1.2 million miles per hour, only to have the stars never to change, ever, ever. Or you can start questioning things and looking at things as they are, not as you're told. But of course, all of this was just for entertainment purposes. I know those just happened because glaciers traveled through here millions of years ago and formed these rock formations that have perfect noses. Entertainment only.
Man, this is one of the things that I even, would say I believe in. Not like, how do I approach this tactfully? I've seen all the same, giant posts that a lot of other people have, and I don't know, there's just some things that is like, well, why would we need a sword that big? It is one of the things that I fantasize about being real, but man, I don't know if it's just I've reacted to so much of his content and I've heard his arguments over and over and over again, or if it's just his tone of voice. I don't know what it is, but he could tell me anything, and at this point I'm just like, dude, you're a snake oil salesman, get out of here. Like, bro, okay, yeah, you shouldn't just default to listening what other people say. Like, you shouldn't just appeal to authority. But that said, and I thought about this while I was at work, and I'm surprised I didn't say it in the last video. Have you ever been, this actually happened at work. Have you ever been sitting at your desk and something catches the corner of your eye and you, for a brief moment, panic because you think that there is somebody standing in a space that you didn't think you didn't think there was somebody there. And then as you look at it and realize what it is that you're looking at, oh well, it wasn't a creepy figure standing. It was a coat rack with some coats on it and a hat. Your mind, I'm by no means trying to say that like everything is just a mind trick and like giants didn't exist at all, but I am just saying like, man, his argumentation is awful. There are plenty of things that like you observe that are incorrect. Like optical illusions, that is a thing that you observe, but it's tricking your mind. Like this defaulting to, well, you just got to go outside and experience it for yourself. Okay, that doesn't make the Earth flat. that doesn't make. I just, man, I've gotten into stammer mode. Like, I just also maybe it was, and I have mentioned this several times. Maybe it was because I grew up in Catholic school, but then had more interest in science, and I had a good teacher who was like, he seemed scientific, but he also seemed religious too. And so I asked him one day, I was like, do you believe in God or evolution? He's like, well, I believe that God created an evolving universe. So it just baffles me when I hear people say, oh, well, you're just a nothing speck of one of billions. And it's like, that doesn't make me feel any more or less special than God created me along with a bunch of other people. Like they're both like equally comforting and discomforting. Yeah, his argumentation is awful. And this is even one of the things I want to believe in. Like, come on. I also I really hate the, this is done for, entertainment purposes, that all of these creators have to say after every video. No fucking shit, dude. You're on TikTok. You're on YouTube. Nobody thinks that you're going out there trying to, like, even if you think that, nobody thinks that you're out there, like, trying to sway the masses. Like, it's entertainment, clearly. Like, and if you're doing it because you're worried about monetization on your channel, then, whoa, your motivations are all screwed. And you need to watch A Good Place. Oh my god. Okay, so now I'm more distracted by the comments. Why are these kids out at night? I'm sorry, do kids do everything they're asked all the time? Let me save you some time. No, they don't. Like, Jesus Christ, they're probably out at night at the park. Either one, it looks like it just turned night because there's still twilight in the back, or they didn't listen to their parents and either snuck out or stayed out too long. Like, all these people being like, getting on their high horses like, well, why were these kids even out to begin with? The parents, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, it kind of looks like AI a little bit, hopefully. Yeah, somebody else said it was AI. So that's all I need. If it is like practical, or what is it called? I don't remember. Was it practical SFX? I don't remember what that term is, but like the more realistic makeup effects than like the CGI stuff. Yeah, that. If it's that, it looks cool. Yeah. Someone's creeping you out, just be 10 times creepier.
I don't know what to do because I'm really scared I'm gonna pass out. But I see a road below me that I've been able to hear for a while. And I'm thinking about going to the road, but I also don't want to get off the trail in case I pass out. I don't want them to find me. I really don't feel that ill, and I've been alone for a long time.
Well, you need to make a decision.
Once I get to the other side of this bridge, that'll be the entire trail. I'll be done. And that grass area, that's where I got dropped off after I had Lyme disease and started hiking north towards Katahdin. That way goes to Georgia. So yeah, that's the end. The end.
Okay, first girl, make a decision. If you think you're going to pass out, you need to hurry up and make a decision or you're going to just pass out. Second guy, how is that creepy? I don't really get that. And normally I wouldn't care, but like this was like a compilation of several videos. And then the last one, I'm not entirely sure what was happening. Somebody can explain it to me in the comments below, but it seemed like there was it seemed like the underneath of her had turned into a waterbed, which is not good. No bueno. No bueno. But also, why are you hiking? I'm sure people do it all the time, but why are you hiking Appalachia by yourself?
I was doing Making the Band on MTV. He was doing Punk'd. Yeah. And I gave him a call one day and I said, I heard that you are going to punk me, and I just don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that's the way you said it. I'm pretty sure. Oh, well, then you tell the story. I'm pretty sure that's not the way you said it. I don't think that's a good idea. Is that what you said?
I think that it's about time we have an uncomfortable conversation about Ashton Kutcher and P. Diddy. So if you don't know, Ashton Kutcher and P. Diddy have been best friends for decades. Ashton Kutcher even co-hosted one of Diddy's white parties back in the year 2009. These guys have been very open about how tight of friends they are, even making appearances on TV shows like the show I just showed you as a duo because they were that close of friends. If you didn't know, Ashton Kutcher has spent years campaigning, including in the government, against child sex predators and pedophiles on the internet. So then how does he become best friends with one of the world's most infamous pedophiles? A man who is accused of victimizing dozens of children. Yes, Diddy's adults were not all adults. Many of them were kids. Kids as young as 13, 10 years old. So Diddy never mentioned one thing to Ashton, one of his best friends, about those multi-day sex festivals he held? According to his public persona and actions, this guy should be this guy's worst enemy. These pictures are like Superman hugging a pile of kryptonite. And yet, all you hear is silence. Silence from Ashton Kutcher, silence from Ashton Kutcher's campaign. You're really going to tell me that this guy never mentioned one thing to this guy? Not even when they hosted a white party, which are notorious events in this story? I mean, it's incredibly bizarre and it does not sit right with me. That's all I'll say. If you want to join me on my journey to expose these freaks, listen to my podcast, The Conspiracy File. It's available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or you can watch the video version on YouTube.
He hasn't just been campaigning. He's been like actively working with companies, from what I was aware of. That could be wrong. I mean, what better way to clear your name of any connection to like something like that? What better way to get out of that than to advocate for against the very thing? Like, you know, what am I trying to say? If, you know, when girls are in high school and they're listening to guys be like, oh, well, I mean, I'm a nice guy. Well, I'm a nice guy. Well, the guys who are usually saying, well, I mean, I'm a nice guy. They're usually not. They're usually dickheads. So, I mean, somebody being like, oh yeah, I hate child trafficking, and I'm gonna make this big fuss about it. What better way to keep them, from anyone thinking that there's anything else going on? Like, it, and that's kind of sucky, because then you can't look at anybody doing anything right without thinking that their motivation is, all skewed. Like, he could have only gotten into that line of work or to that advocacy to keep his best buddy safe. And I wasn't of this. I wasn't in this mindset when the Danny Masterson stuff happened, but looking back on that, of course Ashton knew. Like, he was trying to get his friend out of jail or out of prison, having him and his wife write the judge letters. Like, yeah, it makes me upset. In a weird way. I don't know why it makes me upset, but it's like, you want Ashton. I grew up watching that '70s show, and Ashton Kutcher is somewhat of a likable dude. He's said a lot of questionable things, but man, just the more information that comes out about him and Diddy, and you're just like, I don't know if I can. Even at this point, even if his name got cleared, you couldn't look at him the same. He's been too connected with it. There's too much of a margin for error. And then one of the comments says, they killed Britney Murphy too. Damn, didn't even, completely forgot about that. She died right after, Just Married with him, right? The movie? That's a good movie, by the way.
Surviving Diddy Kelly is ruining marriages, and it's this, guys. Ashton and Diddy were inseparable for 20 years, lavish parties, MTV shows, red carpets, and allegedly freak-off parties. And I don't like it. What do you really know, Ashton? Remember in 2019 when Ashton had that interview and he was like, it was some secrets with the Diddy that he will never reveal. Sources now say Ashton Kutcher's wife, Mila Kunis, is basically like, it's me or Diddy, motherfucker. Basically, it's your friend or your family. Reports are coming in that Mila told Ashton he cannot have no dealings with the diddler, no contact whatsoever. But with Ashton being involved with Diddy for 20 years, he has to know some shit. I just think it's fucking crazy how this diddler, Diddy, Mohawk Diddy shit is literally spilling into Hollywood. Pay attention, y'all. This is just one house of cards falling. You about to see headlines like this every day. I'm out.
Why is it surprising that anything to do with Diddy would have any effect on Hollywood? Yeah, of course it would. Hollywood and music and celebrities have always been like this. That's not surprising at all. not even a little bit. I'm getting hung up on the wrong point, on the wrong thing, but like, it's just not. It's like, oh yeah, of course, because Epstein was in Hollywood. Like, yeah, they're all degenerates who put up with bad behavior and cruelty for the hope and the sake of getting, a little bit more fame, or a bigger paycheck, or a starring role in a movie. Like, also the way he said Kutcher was fun. Kutcher.
To me, I think what makes it work is, I know.
Is it you're so freaking hot?
No, is being able to do scenes with him and being in it with him.
It is mourning the loss of Britney Murphy this morning. The 32-year-old actress died on Sunday from what officials say appear to be natural causes. An autopsy is planned, reportedly against the wishes of her husband. CBS News correspondent John Blackstone has this report.
Someone passes away with cyanide in their body. It looks like they passed away from pneumonia. And there's two people that are close to Diddy that passed away from pneumonia. The first one being Britney Murphy. At the time, Britney Murphy was dating Ashton Kutcher.
Something doesn't add up about Britney Murphy's tragic death, and after a recent documentary dropped, it's only getting darker. New tapes have surfaced hinting at a shocking involvement of Diddy and Ashton Kutcher in Britney's untimely passing. But that's not all. The rumors are spreading fast, and people are finally connecting the dots. These new details suggest that Britney's death could have been far more sinister than we originally thought. Now, with new reports and witness accounts, We're diving into the mystery that still haunts Hollywood today. What really happened to Britney Murphy? Britney Murphy was a household name back in the early 2000s. She had hit movies like Clueless, 8 Mile, and Just Married, The Girl Next Door with a Bright Future Ahead, until everything suddenly came crashing down. In December of 2009, Britney was found dead at the age of 32. Her cause of death was ruled as pneumonia, anemia, and multiple drug intoxication. At first, it seemed like just another tragic Hollywood story. But as we dig deeper into the details, things start to look a lot more suspicious. What makes this whole situation even stranger is that Britney's death came at the same time as her husband, Simon Monjack's. Just months after Britney passed, Simon, who had been her primary caregiver, also died under bizarrely similar circumstances. His cause of death? Pneumonia and acute anemia. Fans couldn't ignore the eerie similarities. Could it be possible that both deaths were more than just coincidences? Were they both victims of a larger, more sinister scheme? Now here's where things get even more twisted.
Yeah, that threw me off because I had no idea she died of pneumonia. I thought she died just of a drug overdose. So yeah, wow, I didn't know that. That's, man, she was a good actress too. And yes, Ashton's right, she is very hot. But also, like, if you haven't seen Spun, she's in Spun. It's a meth movie with Jason Schwartzman and I can't remember the guy who plays Spider Mike right now, John Leguizamo, and she just had several good movies. It kind of does sound like I mean, don't they have tests for cyanide poisoning though?
Nobody knows what's inside a black hole, and I don't know any volunteers to find out. And even if there were a volunteer, they would go in, they'll find out what's on the other side of a black hole, but none of the rest of us will ever know because they cannot communicate back out because nothing comes out of a black hole. Right? They can't even send an SOS with radio signals because radio waves travel at the speed of light, and the speed of light is insufficient to escape the black hole. But the theories of the universe, general theory of relativity, that gives us the black hole in the first place, if you take those equations into the black hole, it tells us that an entire other space-time opens up in front of you. As the future history of the universe is left behind, a whole other universe opens up in front of you. It's freaky, but the general theory of relativity has worked in every other way we've applied it. So this is particularly intriguing to us all. That perhaps the universe with its black holes is just this sort of Swiss cheese of universes in some higher dimension where you might have access. So it's intriguing, and I want to know the answer too. In fact, if I know I'm going to die soon, send me into a black hole. That way I'll die knowing, rather than just drooling on the bed, just or getting hit by a bus. Launch me into a black hole. That's how I want to die.
All right, prep the rocket. He said we could do it. He said it. He said we could do it. Fire him off into the closest black hole, please. I liked Neil deGrasse Tyson when he like first started being a popular scientific educator. But man, the more the time has gone on, he just sounds pompous, and I don't like him. That was a very good explanation, and he is correct. You know, who am I to disagree with Neil deGrasse Tyson? I know, but still, he just comes across very in a condescending manner. And if you can't tell from my previous videos, I really hate that. Even if I do it sometimes too, I really hate when I do it as well. Yeah, no, you would most likely pop out of we don't know for sure, but the theories of relativity postulate white holes as well. So, I mean, you could definitely take the secrets of what's inside a black hole to the next universe that you end up in, and if they work across universes, there's a good chance that they'll still apply. So I mean, really what we need is for a traveler in another universe to make the leap over to this one and then give us the data from inside. That would work. Also, one of the comments was like, what if we just take 2 solo cups and attach a string through it? And I think that is an excellent idea.
We all been lied to about the truth behind the times of 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. And I'm about to tell you exactly what the fuck be going on at that time. let's get into it. Basically, during this time, the veil between our realm and the other higher realms of existence is thinnest at this point, right? Everybody's been told that. But did you know that at this point in your time, if you get woken up, it's called the ambrosial hour. And it's actually a huge energetic boost for all of us that naturally we wake up during the night. Sometimes when our soul, aka our higher self, wants us to use this energy to be in the creator mode of this reality. So if you ever played Minecraft, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's actually a great time for you to be in the purgatory. You're not dead, you're not alive, but you're on the other side. Because did you not know, friend, that everything that we're doing is a dream right now? Yes! Even when we go to sleep, we think we're sleeping. We're not sleeping. We're actually just back in our original state of nothingness. And we're without a body, so we're without having a human experience. And we are just experiencing life without this vessel. And that's what happens when we're asleep. But when we wake up during those times, we are still in that state because your brain is the map and the gateway to consciousness.
I don't want to. Yeah, who is sitting here watching that going, man, she really spitting facts over here? Like, what do I even want to say? Like, what is there to say without just sounding like an asshole? I mean, okay, if you're just going through life without a vessel, why do you sometimes dream of events that happened in the previous day? Like, I get what she's saying, like that we're traveling through the astral plane. Calling it purgatory is it gives a weird connotation, but yeah, like we're traveling through the ethereal space. But like our experiences throughout the day shape our journey through that space, if it is a real space and not just a concoction in our subconscious. Like, a lot of people think that dreaming is just a way for us to like empty out the mental clutter. And I tend to believe myself that like some people can have prophetic dreams. They, even if it's something small, they dream of something and it happens. It doesn't happen all the time, and it might even happen, a few years ahead of time, and then you're like, whoa. But I mean, I kept sitting here going, man, who is watching her, talk like the healer from the Bronx and being like, yeah, this is where I'm going to get all my spiritual advice. Like, I don't know. If you want my honest opinion, I'll give it to everybody. This is my channel. So like, if you don't like it, you can leave. But I enjoy believing in a lot of out there stuff. I don't like making it my entire personality and that like I'm this enlightened individual because I understand dreams or I understand that it's a simulation or blah 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 blah. Like, you can't get wrapped up thinking like that all the time, because you will just end up with your head in the clouds, sounding delusional to people who don't believe the same things that you believe. And we're all allowed to have different beliefs. Like, you don't need to like, she was kind of reminding me of the like condescending flat earth girl who was like, my guy. Like, she was kind of reminding me of that a little bit. Like, we don't know. Like, that's kind of the point of science, is that like, even if the conspiracy theory people want to say that science is a scam and all the scientists are in on everything, like, we don't know. So to sit there and sound so sure of yourself, it just makes you look like an idiot, because we don't know. Like, it's why we dream or why we even require sleep, other than like the process of cleaning up cell death and other things. Like, we do that when we're awake, as far as I'm aware. So why do we need to sleep and dream to do it too? Maybe it's that it's more efficient. Maybe it's, but there are like unexplained things. Like, well, why is it that when you think of somebody why is it sometimes you can not be thinking about somebody all day long, maybe like for a week, and then you're thinking about them and they contact you, or you're in a room with somebody and you're thinking of something and they start talking to you about the exact same thing that you were thinking about. Like, that is very much a thing that we don't fully understand, and there isn't a scientific way to explain it. It just is one of those, well, humans might have capacities that we yet don't realize, and we have to train those capacities in order to have them, those capabilities. Man, getting on TikTok and sounding like you're the voice of reason. I'm not the voice of reason here. Feel free to disagree with me. If I say something in a condescending way, please point it out so I can say it in a more polite way. But like, it is funny. It's super funny watching all these people be like, I know how reality works. And it's like, no, you don't. And nobody does. That's the point.
Reality is far more magical than we've been led to believe. But what is magic? Magic is defined as the power of influencing events by using mysterious forces. Our consciousness has a powerful and observable...
I read a book when I was 14 about studying magic, and it was written by Constantinos. And his explanation of magic was like one of the simplest and easiest, and he kind of gave me like this guy kind of gave a variation of it, where it's just like, it is not through mysterious forces, it is using your intent to shape reality, to move a thought from the astral plane into the physical plane where it has effect. That is what people view as magic. And if you look at it that way, then prayer is magic. Which, I mean, yeah, duh. Prayer is an intense, focused meditation. Granted, you're appeasing to a deity while you do it, but like, it is meditation. It is, focusing on intent to hopefully bring it into physical space. Yeah. And if you are jaded and you don't like Christians or anything like that, and you look at prayer as though it is a form of magic that they're performing, it kind of like, makes it not suck so much. Anyway.
Effect on reality. Far more powerful than we give it credit for. In fact, quantum physics shows our consciousness literally creates reality. Before I get into that, first let's talk about Einstein. Everyone has heard of the theory of relativity. It basically states that everything is energy. Even the matter we see all around us is just densely vibrating waves of energy. Einstein said, match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. Our thoughts and emotions constantly project specific frequencies. The mental states you choose to focus on emit out from you like an antenna. If you are constantly experiencing frustrations and challenges, be aware that complaining about them attracts more of that type of situation. Alternatively, when you move into a space of pure gratitude, you become a beacon for higher vibrational experiences. As you become more conscious of the frequencies you are tuning into, you can shift into higher densities of reality. You can think of this like changing the channels on your television. Your conscious attention determines what station your reality will play back to you. There are many experiments that prove these concepts. Japanese researcher Dr. Masaru Emoto showed how our thoughts and words affect water. He would flash freeze water after expressing positive or negative intentions. The positive samples froze into beautiful geometric crystals, while the negative froze in chaotic, disordered messes. In another experiment, he took 3 beakers of rice and water and expressed emotions to them every day for a month. To one beaker, he said, "Thank you." To the next, he said, "I hate you." And to the third beaker, he completely ignored. At the end of the month, the first beacon fermented a beautiful golden color and gave off a pleasant aroma. The second one turned black throughout it, and the third started to mold on top. Many others have recreated these experiments with great success. If water and rice can be so strongly affected, imagine what our words are doing to our children. There is also a lot of work going on in the realm of quantum physics that is showing that the creative potential our minds wield on reality is far beyond our current understanding. The double slit experiment proves that consciousness creates reality. In the experiment, electrons are shot through two slits. When those electrons are observed, they behave the way that matter is expected to, creating two lines behind the slits. However, when those electrons are not being observed, they create a wave pattern behind the slits. Without being observed, those particles of matter behave like potential waves of energy. Our observation of matter solidifies it into matter. It is only when we are consciously witnessing reality that reality becomes real. If existence is not being witnessed, it reverts back to its state of being potential energy. It is through our act of consciously perceiving reality that existence materializes. That's not to say that existence doesn't exist unless we perceive it, but more like our sensory organs organize the potential energy of existence into the material reality we interact with. This is important to realize because the external world that we perceive is completely fabricated by our internal sensory processes. Our mind has immense power over our bodies, including the ways that we perceive. This is obvious when it comes to altered states, the placebo effect, hypochondria, and the body-mind connection. So in other words, our mind not only influences the external world, it literally determines how the external world will manifest. What this means is that what we determine as real becomes reality. As we expand our consciousness, we expand the bandwidth of frequency of what we can experience. Much like what we call a rainbow is a tiny sliver of the electromagnetic spectrum, what we have been manifesting is a tiny sliver of what's possible. Through redefining what we believe to be real, we can stretch the horizon of what actually exists within our realm of perception. By purifying our minds and our bodies and prioritizing our inner cultivation, we will start experiencing the miraculous. As we raise our vibrational resonance, reality becomes less and less dense, and we are able to manifest the magical with more and more ease. We determine how extraordinary existence is by our focus and our inner standing. We create reality to be as magical as we believe it to be.
Yes. Him and I could be friends. I don't really have anything else to add or say. Well, I guess my thought is like, okay, sure, like the world could be a little mundane because people don't believe that it's magical and that's zapped all the magic out of it. I think that there's a deeper conspiracy of, a group of people that are hoarding magic and keeping magic from us, and purely for entertainment purposes only. I thought that was a cool story idea several times too. I mean, I think it's been done several times, but like the idea that our world is not magical because it was magical and is for some reason like locked or trapped. Actually, the librarians, that's part of their plot, is that like the world doesn't have magic, and then they start having magic again. I don't know. It's very cool. It's very neat. I love like psychic stuff. I like the idea of psychics. I think most psychics are frauds, but the idea that like you can expend energy through thought and manifest something like the bending of a spoon or reading somebody else's mind or forcing your spirit or your soul or your mind into different areas through remote viewing. That's all really cool.
Let's talk about one of the creepiest Mexican videos on the internet right now, the Payaso de Toledo video. But before I show you a bit of this absolutely terrifying video, let's break it down a little bit. On June 24th, user El Payaso de Toledo would upload this video and go absolutely viral, getting 16 million views in 6 days. And in the video, you see him and his crew exploring La Casa del Diablo, which I think is located in Rosarito, Mexico, when suddenly they start to hear a strange voice calling out for help. And then they see this. I'm going to show you a little clip. Here it is.
Dea. Hoy. Hoy.
¿Estás seguro que se escapó del hospital? ¿De qué hospital se escapó?
Payaso, esa persona no está bien. Eres vivo, eres persona. Porque no contesta. No, no, o sea, si tiene una y la otra no. Mira, mira, fíjate que no tiene una más. La otra sí la tiene, pero la otra no. ¿Ya viste? Mira, hasta tiene sangre. Trae líquido rojo. Trae líquido rojo. Ay, Dios mío. No, espérate, payaso, ¿por qué? Pudiera ser una trampa y traemos a la diva. Traemos a la diva, payaso. ¿Hasta allá? Mira, no, eso no es algo bueno, ¿eh?
No es algo bueno eso, Mira, Liz, ¿tú estás viendo? No es algo bueno eso, mi gente. Eso no es algo bueno.
Mira, mira, trae líquido rojo.
¿Eh?
Trae líquido rojo.
Hijo de su madre. A mí se me hace que es un... Eso no es algo bueno, gente. Oye, ayúdenme, por favor. Vamos a acercarnos. A ver, vamos a acercarnos, güey. Pero no te escapaste, ¿de qué seguro que te escapaste? ¿De qué hospital te escapaste? Padre nuestro que estás en el cielo, a ver. A ver, vamos, amigos. ¡Oh, no mames! Espérate.
Now, I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. Although a lot of people found this terrifying, a lot of people also found it kind of silly, saying that it sounds like Frieza, or saying that it sounds like the dude, the Roar kid. But listen, you can't deny that if you saw this yourself, you wouldn't be terrified. But I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I did giggle. What do you guys think? Is this real? Is this fake? Let me know.
I'm just sitting here like, if you can't deny, you wouldn't be scared. So you can deny that you would be scared because double negatives cancel each other out? Yeah, I don't know. That's not the point. I'm just, my brain is hung up on it. Yeah, I like the dude's smile. It was like, I mean, you're watching it going like, I laughed at the persona thing. Just that the Spanish word for person is persona is hilarious to me. I was giggling about the stars on her face. Like, why do girls think dumb shit like that is cute? I'm gonna get so many hate comments. I'm sorry. But I think it looks stupid. Did I say the guy smiling? Yeah, him being like was really funny. It is kind of one of the things that you're like, is it real? Are you sure it's real? I mean, I guess the thing that makes me not think it's real is that everybody hasn't just completely ran away from being so scared, because if like they were I just feel like if they saw this in real life and it was like, hey, that's a kid, they're pale, they're white like a ghost, they say they escaped from a hospital and they're missing an arm, like, why are you saying they're talking to it? Just run away. Like, I don't think you're gonna be able to help it. Are you wanting to get possessed by Turbo Granny? Is that what's happening? Aw. Yeah, the music was loud. Wow, I'm gonna have to edit that. Okay, that was our palate cleanser, because it's scary, but it's also kind of funny. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I did want to address something, because like I've gotten this comment several times. I'll probably continue to get it. The people who are concerned, the people who are trying to give me advice saying I should talk less, and I'll get more subscribers. I don't think you guys are understanding the point of the channel, which is that I can't just take other people's stuff, throw it up here, and then not say anything. That's creative theft. Like, I have to do something. Like, I have to say something. I have to edit it in a clever way. Like, I do the bare minimum. I'm a reaction channel. But, like, I can't just sit there and say absolutely nothing. If you don't want to watch, like, the concept of the channel is we're watching videos together. I can tell you my thoughts because it's my video, and you can tell me your thoughts because there's a comment section down below. But, like, and I appreciate the people who are, like, trying to be helpful. If that is what they're trying to be, it kind of comes across like they're just being mean. But, like, I'm never gonna stop talking after clips, before clips. Like, it's a, like, it's a reaction / commentary channel. Like, are you guys not understanding that? Everyone else, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate the, telling me what you think. Appreciate you giving me your time, because you don't have to. There are other channels that, I think are better, but I appreciate that you're choosing to come here. And if you don't like it, that's totally fine. We can have, everybody has their own preferences. We can disagree on things, or, you could watch me for a little while and then say, you know what, I don't like his tone, or something, this or that. You're totally justified in doing that. But the people who are getting on here and like, man, he should really just shut up and let their videos play, and he'll get more subs that way. I don't want a random high number because I exploited other people's content. If I get more subs, then that's awesome. I'm grateful for it, but I don't want to, like, just steal other people's content and say nothing in the hopes that I'll get more subscribers because a couple of commenters told me to. I'm sorry for being an asshole, but, like, that's not the point of the channel. So anyway, I did kind of feel a little sicky today. Everyone has had stomach flu stuff going on. I haven't thrown up, but I don't feel good either. So I'm going to continue the schedule of video tonight on Monday and video on Wednesday at 5 p.m. If you want to come watch, awesome. If you want to tell me your thoughts, that's dope. I love it. I want to hear people's thoughts. We can have a discussion. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. It's getting close to Christmas. I hope you got your Christmas shopping done, and it is time to decorate if you're into that, but also I get that some people aren't. Yeah. Merry Christmas. I will probably have to do some decorating behind me because it's very bland looking. Anyway, one last time, thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and have a good night. I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.